There's not one chosen. Not one chosen in this millennium. Not one chosen in this century. Not one chosen, in a clan, community, or tribe. Not one. Everybody's chosen. You are all masters, you are all teachers, and you are all healers. So, and we were just talking about that at the dinner table. I said, oh geez, this road has really been really good. All the teachers are coming out, and there's a variety and different ways of healing. It's just so amazing what comes through people and how they do things. So she works with the healing, and she said for those that doubt themselves as being a healer, a master, a teacher, she said it's very simple. She said, you're a healer because you could heal with your toes, right? When was the last time or the first time you played footsie? Remember that? Yeah. Yeah, there was some healing work going on. You could heal with your heels, right? People kind of walk on, people's backs and do this and do that. Well, you could heal with your knees as well. You could heal with your hips. The women are really good at that when they want. And the men are standing. Saliva starts going up, their eyes start rolling back to their head. They forget they were sick. So you could heal with your hips, right? And you could heal with your elbows. The women could do that with the men. Boom, what are you looking at? It straightens them right up. Right? You got sore ribs? Okay, so that healing works. So you can heal with your fingers. Every finger has a healing point in them. And when we grew up, they said, never point, don't point. Because they could see that lightning, that ray, that color that comes out of through your auric ray, your field. Don't point. So most Indian people, they use their lips. See that over there? They use their head. So that's why they say, you remember Crazy Horse Monument? It's on his horse. He's like this. Well, Indian people said, that's not going to happen, and cut that finger off because he pointed, but he's going to put some lips on him. So healing is really important. You could heal with your hands. Everybody knows Reiki now. They know how to move the energy through, what they see through your auric field. You can heal with your eyes, right? You can heal with your eyes. Somebody looks at you, that person that looks at you, they could break you down and make you cry, just like that. It's a healing when you start crying. You're going through a healing process, a beautiful process. You can heal with your thought. You can heal with your thought. So keep some healing prayers on each other. You could heal with your voice. Some people's voice are just like a magnet. They're a charisma. I just love listening to Michael Jackson. You can heal with your prayer. Prayer is very important because it's like everything. All your healing from your toes to your head to your thought into your prayer from your heart. That's very potent. It's a spiritual healing. It's a big time healing. So we see a lot of miracles, as you know, where your prayer is being answered. You voice that more than you voice a lot of other things. It's the answer to my prayer. So the healing is very important. Then we have this this law, this springtime called perception, season of perception, and how you perceive things. And perceiving things, you need to stay open to other people's perceptions. See? Get them all together, throw them all together, put them into a little thought, one heart. Don't fight, because it creates confrontations. If your ego takes over and you will not listen to somebody else's perceptions, you'll get into a good argument, get into a good fight, and that little imbalancement lasts many years, right? Because you thought your perception was much more greater than another's. So we need to just listen to people, and even if you don't agree with them, you don't have to voice it. Just say thank you, you know? And because that's a part of it. The negatives, the positives, there has to be a balance. You got to know all the bad things and all the good things, because that's what creates the creativity and the result. So perception, and perception is really beautiful, especially in the springtime, especially when you're out in nature. You know, nature, where the flower starts coming up, the leaves starts coming. So these are remembrances, these little things. They're very potent, very potent. I'm going to draw something on the wall. What is this?
Peace arrow.
Huh?
Peace arrow.
The peace sign? Like the what? A crowfoot? They call it? Yeah, but it's a peace sign, right? But you don't see it like as a peace sign, right? Unless you activate it. See, when you activate it, it creates movement. It creates form. It creates energy. So from the time that was created, there has been chaos. Because the reality, the peace symbol is backwards. It has to be up, facing up, like a tree. It's actually a Palladian symbol. But whoever got it twisted it upside down. You know? That's why when they go on these peace movements, there's a lot of battles. Cops come around, you know, there's a big fight, and you're on YouTube fighting this and fighting that. It's supposed to be a peace movement. But they turned it upside down, and the people don't know that. So the Palladian people said that's their symbol. That's what they gifted to humanity, and it's supposed to be this way. So next time you start your T-shirt and things like that, put that peace symbol up, like that. It'll draw some attention. Then you'll be able to talk to somebody. Okay, this next group right here, this here is the days of the week. Okay? The days of the week. What is that? Anybody know?
Sunday.
Sunday. What does that mean?
Light, sound, and vibration.
Light, sound, and vibration. The same energy as the law of attraction. Okay? So whatever is in front of you is what you created. How many here? 2, 4, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. 11, 11 is 22. Okay? Now, we're working on this here. What we're trying to create is the influence and the activating the 1313, we call it. 1313 frequencies within you. And they are really, you're looking at these, you don't know what these mean yet, but just look at them. Right here is where we're at. Boy, I take that back. So right here. That's called the law of prosperity. Okay? And you need to feel that law. And the flower people work with this law. See? The tree people work with this law. The cells of the trees. So, and they have some amazing information on how they view prosperity. Every plant, every animal, every bird understands this law. And this law is so different. It's just so amazing how they see it. Joan, do you remember who came and told us about this law?
Well.
Remember that little white?
Oh, the little flower.
So a little flower came and talked to us about prosperity. And he said, "You're going to argue with the flower?" So the flower gave us a system of what they do, you know, and how they create joy and happiness and all this, from this to this to this, and how they create life for us. Just a little flower. You know, how could you understand everything about if you don't understand that flower? So there's the basics of how we breathe. So that little flower, they gave us a little information on this law of prosperity right there. This is actually a straight line. Yeah. Okay, we'll get back to something else. Law. This here, light, sound, and vibration is guarded by the outer people, and they more or less help you to understand through the laws of attraction how you create things and what you create, and how you create it in order for you to learn and grow from it. See? So light, sound, vibration. If you don't like what's in front of you, change it. Change it. It's your creation. See? It doesn't matter what it is. Okay, then the next one comes down here. This is called the spiritual law of intuition. And intuition is a very powerful tool that we all have. And it was, at one time, it was called the gift of the woman. You know, woman's gift of intuition. But the men have it too, see. And these two men are good examples for it. It's all right here. You know, this is where your intuition comes from. All this here, right here. And they proved that just before the Vietnam War. Look in here, all the women's hair, long. The men's hair, some of the men's hair, short. Now how they figured that out was just before the war, they went out and they asked these researchers, go out and find us good trackers. They come back, they said, it's these Indian dudes. You know, okay, we'll draft a whole bunch of them in. They drafted all these Indian dudes in. They went through the basics training, come out for a couple weeks, got drunk, went back in, played their war games. And when they did the war games, they were like lost. They didn't know what to do. Like everybody else. So these guys said, hey, you told us that these Indian guys were the ones, you know, the good trackers and all that. They're just like, they're lost. They're just like everybody else. They said, well, that's what we found out. Go back and go do your research again and bring us something back. Some good trackers. So these guys went, took a few years, they come back. It's these Indian guys. So they said, okay, so what's going on here? What's the difference? What's the difference? Okay, you drafted these yellow men. Okay, they all have little short hair. They drafted the white man. They have little crew cuts, you know, little ducktails and stuff. They drafted the black man, with little afros. And when they drafted Indian, long hair. So they said, okay, let's let them keep their hair. See what happens. So they went through basic training, They drafted them, went to basics trainings, went out, got drunk during, because a lot of guys do that when they get out of the basics trainings that I know of. And then when they send them back in, they do their war games. And these guys won all their war games because they felt something. They felt it. It was in their hair. So your hair tells you something. And I watch it. You do it. Sometimes you don't recognize it, but some of you guys say, oh, look at it. Oh, my hair is standing up on my arm. Oh, this one too. And I see the women standing there like this. It's called confirmation. See? When somebody says something to them, their hair starts standing up. Sometimes in the back of the head, the neck, usually if that happens, kind of run. Take off running or turn or make a swift retreat somewhere. So your hair is a intuitive being, creates that intuitiveness. And that's why the women had this over the men. And the women, could feel a lie. If a man lies to them, the women know it. Because of the vibration, they know it. Sometimes they let it go. And the women are so sensitive because of the hair that they could even feel another woman brush up against their man with the intent, that they want to be with them. And when they come home or something, they feel like their man was with a woman. And they start feeling these feelings and stuff like that. So it's sensitive. We're very highly sensitive because of our hair. It's in every part of our body. So that's our truth maker, our knowingness of things. It comes through our hair. The law of intuition. Now we go from there to here. This is the universal law of judgment. That's on it was yesterday, right? Yesterday. The law of judgment. That's when even Grandma Jean, she said, that was judgment. Oh, I could judge this as a day of judgment. She covered herself really fast. But we are judges. We're the greatest judge of all within inside of ourselves. That's why they said you're going to meet your master. When you die, you're going to go and get judged. That's you. You're your judger. You know everything that you judge. You're judging from the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to bed. You're judging. The first judgment is when you get up and look at the mirror. Oh, shit. Okay, it starts from there. So every time we're looking at something, we're judging. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's good judgment, bad judgment, and all this, but it's still judgment. But you got to pay attention to that judgment, because it's like intuition. It's like judgment could save you. It could save you if you step off that curve into a street. The car's going by and it nails you. Bad judgment. Good judgment on the car part. But you got to pay attention to your judgment. Keep it. That's your protection as well. Now we got from judging straight down here. What comes after judgment? When you judge something, karma. Everything's karma. Whatever you think, do, and say is karma. You create karma. Everything that follows your thought, your action, or your word, there's a karma that goes with that. So remember that. It's very simple. If you like what's going on, everything's your karma. You created it. Same thing. So working with karma. Okay, then we go over here. This here's today, karma. Tomorrow, right here. Karma, it works with the stone people. Okay, the stone people. We'll finish with that. Just popped in. The crystals are the messengers for karma. the crystal people. Now, you got to understand crystal, Atlantis and all that. The abuse of the crystal in Atlantis what created the sinking. Okay, everybody likes to externalize, I mean. They think it's a big giant crystal. Yeah, the giant crystal was the population. The crystals that we're talking about are in your head. You got 18 crystals here, 18 crystals over here. They're microscopic crystals, and your body will recognize them as foreign objects, and you probably get a headache or migraine because you're fighting that source of gifting of the crystal, because crystals work with communication. All your iPods, all your iPhones and TVs, they have crystals, and they work with that form of communication. So we have this in here, and this here works with clairvoyance and clairaudience. So when you activate the crystals in your mind, in your brain, I mean, then a lot of that stuff will go away, because you're freeing yourself. You're blocking that energy, your own freedoms, your own limitations. You're letting them all relax. You got crystals in your heart. You have crystals in your lungs. You have crystals in your kidneys. You have crystals in your reproductive systems. And they all have purpose. And this is what's being activated. When we activate the whole structure, we call it the crystalline form. And this is what we're trying to walk with at this time. Buddha was like the complete crystalline energy. So when we see the indigos coming into being, that's us. The next energy is the crystalline children. Their systems are going to be different because the whole system of this earth is going to be different. The reason is because of what's going on with the moon. The moon handles our energy of water in our body. You know, the gravitational pull and all that. It makes us, as you know, you see human beings at full moon times. Some are in ceremony. Those that are not, they around that time, they double the police force, right? Because there's problems that arise during the full moon time. We go right into ceremony and use the energy of that. So we got to remember that the crystalline form, when it's fully active, it's the reason why it's being fully activated at a certain pace, and we're working with that with our children, and they're coming in with the knowing right already, is because there's going to be a comet that's going to hit, or meteorite that's going to hit the moon. It's geared for this earth. We called it in, but people had a little change of heart, and so the moon said, I'm going to take the hit for humanity. Okay? We learned this through dreams and all this. We went through ceremony. We brought in the spirit messages and all this, and this is what was taking place. So they said what happened, the spirit message was, Steve Red Wolf will come to me. He said, I don't know what this means, Kola, but the spirit said, when the moon splits in half, there'll be no control over the water. I said, oh, okay. We got this altar for getting, detailed information. He was a healer, so most of his work was just healing the body, healing emotions, healing this. But the spirit knocked in a few messages, and then he gave them to me. Then I did this other work with ceremony to find out what's going on here. So that's what they told us. The moon said, I will take the hit for humanity. You can't change that. The date is around April 2036. Some of us will be gone, some of us not, but a lot of the people will still be alive. But the energy, the water, is going to affect the energy in your body, because it's going to be a whole different system. So I thought there's a reason why I've had to say that, and that goes with this crystalline energy, the message for today with the crystal people. Timeline. All right. Now we go across. This is a Thursday. That one is the law of, what is that? The law of nature. Okay, the deer people, the medicine chiefs, and Melchizedek work with this, see? So they give a little, we have a little bit of time, seeing the next presenter peek his head in here. We have a little, nature, and this deer more or less says, hold on to your power. You know, and never give your power away to any man, to any woman, to any, nothing, to any object, no idol, God, anybody. Don't give your power away. Your power is right here. Don't give your heart away. Not necessary. You give your heart away, especially to somebody that don't know how to take care of their own, you're going to get lost for a while until you know how to retrieve the energy that you gave away. So Spirit says, hold on to your power through this law. Very simple, real simple little thing. Up here is Friday. Spiritual protection of mankind. Now the Elk people are the messengers for this, and they're very direct and to the point. And that's what we need to be as messengers. Just say what needs to be said. Don't talk in circles. Don't beat around the bush. You know, say what needs to be said, and they'll get over it. And they said the keys to being direct and to the point is, number one, is always see purity in everyone. Look at everybody. You got to repattern yourself. Repattern yourself. Because we could see through people. We pinpoint some of the odds and ends and some things we don't like, and we kind of focus just on that, a little negative of a person, but we see that because that's the way we are. It's a mirror. You don't understand that. So the Elk people say, see the purity in everyone. The second one was always walk in gentle strength. The third is always speak from your heart, especially in heart matters. And the fourth is always know that you are a servant and you're a guardian to Mother Earth. Not just the earth, but the fire, the water, you know, the air. So that's being directed to the point. Saturdays is the Karana, the things that put that together. Now, what I'm going to do really fast is I'm going to knock this out, and hopefully somebody didn't knock out my program here. What is I'm trying to get at? Okay. There we go. So these here, oh, that's all gone. Okay, here it is here. The outside information that you just seen, okay, here they are. And they work with, we work with them on the quarter moons, all right? The first quarter moon. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I can't make that any bigger than anybody. All this goofy stuff is here. Anyway, we'll do this. Okay, the first. Okay, we got full moons, right? First we got the new moon, then a quarter moon, then the full moon, then the quarter moon again, the last quarter. Then it goes back into other phase. There's 13 moons. Okay, that first quarter is this. It works with the law of your inner light. All right, it's called Myrrh, hummingbird, Athena, the Titans of memory. It's the first dimension yin, which is a quantum field of subatomic. Ra is would be second dimension yang. The spiritual power of the sun works with the phoenix. Rigel, which is what Orion influences, the solar wind, Galaxia. And this is the second dimension yang, which is oneness of all light. Got to change that there. First dimension yang, that was it. Okay. Now the second moon, before the full moon of the second full moon, this here is the quarter. It's Abet, the universal law of energy, and these are the messengers that go with it, the priests of knowledge, the fire, and the universal second dimension yin, elemental body of mother. And Esh, spiritual way of manifestation. Okay, so you got a time to manifest things, and you can't just manifest things just for right now. You got to see the big picture, you know, so you can manifest it for the result of what you want. Lizard, the lizards are pretty cool. The reptilian energies, the immortals, where you get your thought pattern, the first thought patterns. Second dimension yang, electrochemical subconscious realm. Okay, a lot of this is like updated mentality, analytical mind language, but it really goes back into how we used to be. We had telepathy. Everybody had telepathy. Everybody could levitate things, you know. Everybody could transport yourself over here, like boom, you know, like Captain Kirk and them guys. You didn't, you know, you could light up a room with your light because you were light, and you still are. But you got to get rid of this body. Okay. The horse is the messenger with the song, the galactic diva, Mama, the material core of the universe, third dimensional yang, yin, which is the planetary form, and life. We got Re, spiritual way of renewal, you could say. The hands people, all those that work with the hands, this is one of their energies. Seraphims, the glory of God, creator's song. Third dimension yang, the DNA, consciousness, and awareness. So DNA is like, you know, memory again. Hair. Hasur, universal law of dream time. If you have trouble remembering your dreams, draw this symbol. You know, you'll remember the messages when you wake up, because a lot of times we can't remember what we did, where we're at, and all this stuff. The dragonfly. These dragonflies would go way back where the dragonflies were bigger than they are now. You know, they're only about this small, but they were giants, and they talked about why they have to be so small today. There's so much here. The Rand Council of 24. So the 24 council, what they're talking about there is the balance of the lords of light and the lords of darkness, and each council is doing the work of creation and doing the work of God. Fourth dimension, interweaving waves of time. Anil, fourth dimension yang. Ho Shozei Shonin. Anybody know what that means? Grandma?
I direct the energy to go. It's a distance ascending.
Okay. Spiritual way of zero, time creation. Water strider. I've seen one about this big, a long way. Grandfather, the time lord, the galactic light. Fourth dimension yang, Osho Shonen, the plane of time. How would you pronounce this? Chem. Universal pathway to God. Unchi, the bear people, archangels, the mystery of mystery mother. That's a cool terminology. Fifth dimension yang, the playground of light. So this 13th dimensional information, Ptah, is that how you say that? Ptah. Who is Ptah? Huh?
Egyptian elder.
Okay, let's do that. Stranupa. Stranupa is another term for Gabriel. Galactic silence. We're going to practice as much as possible. The first father, fifth dimension yang. We're going to run through it. Our next presenters here. Chem, sixth dimension yin. Okay. If you have to write these down, this is what. Now this is a lot of these have been abused. Like this one here, Nasi, spiritual way of the wheel. The beetle nation, throne of God, the flower of life, and the flame. These go with the moon times, okay? You see the number there? This goes with the seventh moon, seventh dimension. This is just remembering. Maturation, the woman of stone, flat, nebula, flame imperishable, plane of Elohi. Keb, spiritual way of peace, seventh dimension yang. So the yin is more or less the first quarter, the yang is the second quarter. Yes?
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I asked
Huh?
to finish the recording for the next one.
You want to what?
Time out.
Time out?
Just say it.
You want a cord?
They need room.
The adapter for the.
Use that. I'm not. Let me finish this.
Pop it up to the 11th dimension where we are now.
Yeah.
What? Okay, you get down. Okay, so we'll run this here, run it through. Who reads fast? Who has a photographic memory? Okay. What are the quarks? They're smaller than atoms, right?
Photons.
Okay, Emmanuel, 8th dimension. Bob, 9th dimension. The eagles, the birds, 9th dimension. On the owl people, Andromeda, 9th dimension. Genesis, playground. Okay, how do you pronounce this? Gil, Gil, law of essence. Well, hopefully that's a little spirit light, you see. Okay, and Joan knows a lot about that one. Okay, what's this? 11th, 10th is what, how do you pronounce that? Okay, water, trees, the voice of ancient, 10th dimension. Okay, this is where we're at right now. This time we're walking in right now. The universal law of prosperity, the flower people, the trees, and 13 dimensions of life is what we're going through. 11, 11, 11, 11.
Yeah. 11th dimension.
Okay. 11, this is the next quarter moon right here. Ve. Ha. Hate, Amoria. Infinity, 12th dimension in. Sure. The light confederacy, you could say, or light force, spiritual way of lightning, photon confederacy, essence. We have all this in detail, the messages. Antakrana, 13th dimension, the 13th moon cycle, you could say, which is coming up around the corner. Chords of life, the spider. Buddha's presence, the last quarter of the year. There it is right there, the Merkaba. Spiritual way of integrity, Cthulhuian animal nations, Metatron, Merkaba, 13th dimensions, Yang, the arc of Christ consummation. Thank you. Idama.